Hi there, Phil here from Radio.co, and welcome to our Radio.co crash course video. It's a comprehensive, easy to follow demonstration of the basics of using the Radio.co platform. Now, for those completely new to what we do, Radio.co is an entirely cloud-based software platform that provides you with all the online tools, all the software, and all the support needed to effortlessly get your own 24/7 global internet radio station up and running no time at all. From building automated playlists to broadcasting live in real time. From monitoring your listening statistics to building your very own branded mobile apps. Radio.co is a surefire way of bringing that dream radio station to life, all under one roof. And from as little as $35 per month. Now, in this demonstration, I'll be showcasing just the basics of using our software in hopes that when you sign up for one of our free 7-day trials, you know exactly what you need to do first. But for a more in-depth conversation about our platform or your radio station plans, it's always best to schedule in a video call with the team. And you can do that by clicking on the demo tab at the top of our website. Or you can just send me an email via studio@radio.co. Anyway, enough chatter. Without further ado, allow me to show you just how quick and easy you can get your very own dream radio station on air. This video is made by Radio.co. To start your free Radio.co trial in seconds, head to Radio.co and click on the pricing page. Okay, so I fired up our Radio.co platform here, so what you should be able to see on my screen right away is the Radio.co dashboard. Of course, to get there, you need to initially set up your account if you haven't got one already. So Radio.co, we are entirely subscription-based. You can pay for us on a monthly basis or a yearly basis, and the idea behind the platform is that, once you subscribe to one of our 4 main plans, our Light, Standard, Plus, and Premium, you will have everything that you really need to get up and running. So the ability to build your shows and to actually broadcast live, to track your audiences, even things like building additional ways that people can listen, through mobile apps and the such. So what you do is you activate your free 7-day trial. It takes about a minute or two to fill in your details, and yes, you will be here. One point just to make is that we do require payment information up front, so you will need to enter that in order to create your account. But the reason we ask for that is because, we want to ensure that if you were to stick with us after the trial ends, there's no disruption to your station. Your trial will come to an end and you will just simply continue from where you are leaving off, without losing anything. So that's the reason. But as I say, once you've signed up, it takes about a minute or two and you will see this, the Radio.co dashboard, which is essentially kind of like a welcome screen. It's just showing you, how much storage is being used for your station at the moment, how much bandwidth you're using. Bandwidth is really data that's required for people to listen to your station. So essentially, the more people listen and the longer each person listens for, the more bandwidth gets used up. Another term that we use, which we'll see on our pricing structure, is total listening hours. How many hours a month can people listen to your station for? And as a spoiler, it's a huge amount. There's so much room for people to listen. How many concurrent listenership you have, which is here. So you can have a maximum of so many listening at any given second. But the most important thing really on here, aside from knowing what's playing at the moment, is this here, the on-air button I've got here on the top left. Now, Radio.co is a cloud-based solution. So what that means for you, first of all, is that nothing needs to be installed, downloaded for initial use. You just create an account, you log in, and that's it. There's no waiting for anything to upload, to download, to install, or anything. You just create an account from any computer, log in from any computer. As long as you have an internet connection, boom, your station is there. It also means it's being powered by us. It's being powered by our cloud servers. So as soon as you turn your station on air, as long as you have uploaded one file, the station is built to remain on air 24/7 and all over the world. So most of our broadcasters will just leave their stations on permanently 24/7, and there are easy ways to ensure that happens. But do know if you wanted to, you can turn your station on and off if you wish. But I say most people just leave it running because it's easy to do so. I'm not going to dwell on it too much because that will be saved for another video we may do in the future, just revisiting this idea. But this is live broadcasting. This is what the connection status refers to. Are you a host
currently connected to the server so people can hear what you are saying and doing. At the moment, it's listed that I am not connected, which is correct. My station is on air, but it's playing an automated piece of music, a Bob Marley track in this example here specifically. But what this means is yes, I am not personally connected because, I don't need people to hear what I'm saying into this microphone right now. But do know, if I wanted to, I could use all the audio that's going through this microphone, which is going into the Rodecaster Duo here. If that was plugged into my computer, I could broadcast this demonstration live if I wanted to. That's all that means. Are you connected? Can people hear what you're doing? So, yeah, we do have a number of guides to show you how to do that. It's quite an easy thing to set up, but I'll save that for another video, or, there will be links to our help center in the description of this video. And then here on the top right, this is where you're going to be going first, the Add Media button here. So if you want to upload media, this is where you go. You click Add Media, and as long as your files are in MP3 or AAC, so if you've ever bought anything off iTunes in the past, chances are it's in AAC. It's like Apple's version of an MP3, so it's a slightly higher quality. But yeah, as long as it's MP3 or AAC, select them from your hard drive, from your computer location, or just drag them onto the screen, and they will then appear in your media library. Excuse me. And in your media library here is where you will see all of your content. And this is all cloud-based as well, so if you logged into your station from a completely brand new computer you've never used before, all your media is there. It's tied to your actual subscription. So, yeah, everything is uploaded and listed all here, as you can see. And you'll also spot that a number of these tracks have got these coloured labels attached to them, like 90s rock, Northern Soul, new chart music, just to name a few. What those are called tags, and these are a great way, first of all, organising your media. I wouldn't say it's an absolute must-do necessary thing for you to do, but it's definitely very, very helpful in the long run. Tagging is a way of you helping to categorise your media. So if you're uploading a lot of content from different genres, for example, say you've got a music station like what I've got here, and I'm uploading rock music, chart music, R&B, hip-hop, anything like that, it may be wise for me to tag that media so I know how many rock tracks I've got, how many R&B tracks I've got. And that's basically all tagging is. You're essentially creating a folder to store this media in. So if I was just to highlight these couple of tracks here on my screen there, and let's just say these are, for argument's sake, let's say these are, 70s classic rock, something like that. I could just type in 70s classic rock into the bar there. And I can click Create 70s Rock here. That will then create the tag, and then in order to attach them, I just press the plus button there, and that will then attach it to those tracks. And then what it will do is it will then essentially, as I say, create a folder, and it will tell me exactly how many tracks are associated with that category. So that's tagging media. So a great way of doing it is, again, it's organising your media. It's very, very beneficial. But you can also use these tags to randomly shuffle your playlist as well. And it's very, very easy to do. So I'll show you how to do that in a moment. Just visiting the options across the top here. So recordings. Actually, that's a good point, actually, just to differentiate the sort of media you may have. Anything you upload, regardless of whether it's a piece of music, a podcast, a jingle, an ad, anything you upload is classed as a track, and it will then be stored in your tracks section. A recording is specifically anything that you have stored due to our live recording feature, which I'll go into more detail very shortly. But anything that you record within from that feature is stored here. Voice tracking, which I'm going to demonstrate again a little bit later, they're all stored there. And if you want to have a list of all your tags, they are all here as well. So every tag you create will be listed here, and it will obviously show you exactly how many tracks are associated with each one. Relays, that's a third variation of a show that you can schedule, which I'll explain a bit more when I get to that point. And we also have our news bulletin feature, which is in our Plus and our Premium plans. And this is basically a way for you to automate a top of our news broadcast. Your top of our news broadcast needs to be in an MP3 stream, kind of like what I've got here as an example, Sky News, using it purely for illustrative purposes. You must seek permission from these broadcasters to use that, or use an accredited site. But as long as it's an MP3 HTTPS stream, what that will do is you just tell the software how often you want that to play. And that stream, the trick with it is that stream is overwritten every hour by the provider. So this is just a way, very quickly explained, of a way of automating the top of our news. For a more in-depth instruction on how that works, as I say, our help center, help.radio.co, is a great place to get all our tutorial guides for whatever you may need. So that's a couple of media types, but you've uploaded your media, and you can then start building shows. And shows are all done through playlists, and you can actually build an infinite number of them, so go wild. You can make as many playlists as you like. Each one can be as long as you want, as short as you want. They can contain basically whatever you like. It's totally up to you. You just need to tell the software what you want to play and when, or what order. So I've got some very generic shows I've made here. I've got, as you can see, I've got a breakfast show, a Phil's Rock show, Phil's Mix, podcasts. But there is also a playlist here called the default, and it also has this default label attached to it. Now, this default playlist is actually a playlist you will have in your account when you create one yourself. It'll be there instantly. Your default playlist will be empty, but the reason why we give you this empty playlist is because this has actually been built to do a very, very important job. Going back to what I mentioned at the start of the demonstration, is that it's actually a lot easier to run a 24-hour radio station than you may initially think. This is the main reason for that. The default playlist has been designed to instantly start playing on your radio station anytime your station is on air, but you have nothing scheduled. So basically, just to summarize that, you have a 24-hour radio station and you don't need to schedule 24 hours of content every single day yourself. It's, that's quite a tough task to do. This, you could literally just put in any amount of random content in there. Music, talk, podcast, ads, jingles, whatever you like. Fill it with whatever you want, and this will instantly start playing and continuously playing anytime there is a gap in your schedule, basically helping you have a 24-hour radio stream. So just for context, I've put 79 tracks inside of mine, and it's a combination of all sorts. As I say, there is a lot of music in there, but there's also jingles, some ads, some voice tracks I've done. And if I jump ahead just for a moment to my schedule, you'll see the days of the week along here, Monday to Sunday. You've got the times down by the side. A perfect example of how this default playlist feature works is right here. Monday to Sunday, midnight till 6 a.m. every single day, my schedule is completely blank. During that time, my default playlist just automatically jumps in and takes over. It's filling in this 6-hour gap without me actually having to set it up. I don't need to instruct it to do that. It's been built to do that right away. As long as you add at least one MP3 file to that default playlist, it will automatically fill it in for you. It's a really intuitive, really, really good feature. And we have people that actually run their entire stations without having to schedule a single thing. They just fill their default playlist with whatever they want, and they turn the station on air, and that's it. They don't have to give it much thought because it's running in a way that they are happy with. Or what I've done here, I've got a few sporadic shows throughout the day, and the gaps are filled in. Or, again, we have people who create their own playlists, specific playlists, every hour of every day. There's so many different ways you can run your station. That's the beauty of internet radio. There's no right or wrong way of doing it. Manage this, program this, create this radio station in whichever way makes you feel more comfortable and happy, and make it enjoyable. So jumping back to playlists, to build your own playlist, again, couldn't be simpler. You just first of all create, so I click the create playlist button here on the right, and just give it a name. So seeing it's Christmas, obviously I've got my Christmas jumper on it, it's approaching the end of the year. Let's get this ready for a, Phil's Christmas show. Very generic. I can add a bespoke colour to it. I'm just happy to stick with the blue. I can put some custom artwork there, a bit more of a specific title, but I'm just going to leave it like that. I'm going to click save, and what it will do is it will then create my playlist, or my playlist builder. And you can see that my playlist, of course, is empty, and the duration of it is 0, because, of course, I've yet to add a single thing to it. So here, all you do is you will search for any specific tracks you've uploaded, or you can work your way down this list. Find whatever tracks you like, and you can either add it to the start or add it to the end. Or if you don't want it either place, you can always drag it and pop it in the middle. But that's how simple it can be to build a playlist. It's like building a playlist on anything, really. Just find specifically what you like, pop it in, like so. And with every track you add, you'll see that the duration is totaling up. So it's 38.5 minutes long, this specific playlist. And, change the order of things, drag them all around. Very, very simple. As I say, this playlist can be filled with anything you like. So if you have any ads or jingles or anecdotes you've recorded, literally build this playlist to make it sound like the radio show you want. It doesn't just have to be back-to-back music. It can, this can be a full 1 hour, 2 hour long radio show full of every little piece that you want. You're just piecing it together, deciding the order. All these tracks will nicely fade in and fade out of each other as well. They'll blend really nicely. You can actually set within your settings how long it takes for each track to crossfade into each other. But yeah, just on the surface, this seems like a pretty fine show I'd be happy with, and I could just click save. There are other things you can add into your playlist, so I already teased it before, the notion of using tags to randomly shuffle tracks. So all you can do is click on the tags tab here on the left, and you'll see all the tags that you've made currently. So these are, again, all ones I've made. So I can just click on 2010s hip-hop or 90s acoustic, why not? And what this will do is every time the software reaches that tag, that command in the running order, the software will pick a random track that hasn't played yet from that specific category. So say I had 20 tracks tagged as 2010s hip-hop, it's going to pull a random one. But as I say, it will make sure it's going to play every track that hasn't played yet within that tag. So if I had 20 2010s hip-hop tracks and I put the same tag in 20 times, each time it plays it is going to be a different one, but the 21st time it plays, it will then begin playing them a second time and then a third time and so forth. So yeah, use tags as much as you like. It's there just to help you sort of pad out your playlist. It's kind of like building clocks. So if you're used to using more industry standard bits of software, scheduling software, things like Selector, for example, it is one I used extensively in the past. You're basically building a clock, so you're going to say a day part. So, you say 9 a.m. till 12 p.m. I want a track from the A list, a B list, maybe 2010s rock, A list, 90s, 80s jingles, and you're just giving it prompts, categories for it to pick from. And this works in the exact same way. You're just telling the software what you want it to play. It's still following a very specific structure you've made, but it's just picking out the tracks randomly for you. And as I mentioned, you can build playlists that only contain tags if you really want to. So if I just delete these specific tracks here, what I could do is I could schedule this playlist to play for 2 hours. And for 2 hours, it will play a 2010s hip-hop track, 90s, then acoustic. It will then go back to the top and it will play a different track, 90s, acoustic, and so forth, so forth. So, so you don't actually need to put much time and effort into building a specific playlist. If you want, you can put specialist music and let the software pick it out for you. Recordings, as I mentioned already, this is the notion of scheduling one of your live broadcasts to record. I'll show you how you actually set that up when I begin scheduling a show. But do know when you do put that feature on, it will then be stored within the recording section of your account, and you'll have an MP3 file of that live show that you just completed. And if you want to repeat that, all you do is you take that file you want. So here's one from yesterday, in fact, the 5th of December. I can take that file and I can move it into my playlist. And that will then play that old recording as part of this broadcast. You can do your voice tracking. So voice tracking is one of my favorite features on the platform, especially because, there is, I guess, some scrutiny, some people a bit prejudiced about using voice tracking, saying, it's not proper radio, pre-recording your links. Radio should be live. And yes, I guess live radio, there's nothing quite like the thrill of doing it, the ability to engage in a live, real-time sense with your audience. It's a very, very exciting kind of show to do, but not everyone wants to do it, or is prepared to do it, or likes doing it even. And voice tracking is a way where you can keep your personality, your character, and your passion, most importantly, rife throughout your radio station, and you're not having to have the pressure of doing it live. It's still very much real radio. You are still creating that relationship, that connection between your audience. It's just the fact that it's been pre-recorded. That's all. So the way you can do it's very, very simple. You just click the Add Voice Track button here in the top. Right, so I'll tell you what, let me zoom out a little bit. And what you do here is you just need to select what kind of microphone input you're using. It's going to recognize everything that's plugged into your computer at this time. Now, despite what this may look like, this microphone, this Rodecaster Duo, isn't actually plugged into my computer. We're kind of recording this audio onto the SD card. So when I click on these options, it's not actually there. So at the moment, I'm just going to rely on the very poor quality microphone that's built into my computer. So I'm going to click that, and when I click this record button here, what it's going to do is it's going to start counting backwards from 10 minutes, and it's actually recording everything that I'm saying into this, well, not into this microphone, it would do. It's actually recording everything into this microphone on my laptop. Yeah, you know, I can use this just to record a 20-second voice link to introduce a track that's coming up next. I can use this to read the news, talk about an event we're at. I could interview someone. You've basically got 10 minutes to play around with every time you click record. So even if I stop it now after 30 seconds, I've still got 10 minutes to use up again another time and again and again. And yeah, you know, this will basically just going to record everything really nicely for you in a really good quality, depending on obviously the input that you're using. And yeah, this just allows you to not have to worry about pressures, being nervous, being worried about actually even time constraints. A lot of people feel, well, I guess it's kind of like a common misconception. They believe that you know, they have to be live as much as possible, and that's quite a tough task to do, particularly if you've got a very, very busy day-to-day life. This is a way where you could just do a live show once a week, but still have your voice very prominent, or your other DJ's voice very prominent throughout your radio station. And all you do is, you know, when you finish doing that recording, so I've done a big 60-second link there, I would click stop. I can listen back to it, make sure it sounds okay. I can delete it if I'm unhappy. I can save it if I am happy with it. And I just take that voice recording and I pop it in here. These are just a couple of examples there. So yeah, this is just a way where it's not just a playlist of back-to-back music, and it doesn't matter how good your curated playlist may be. It's just back-to-back music. There's no real difference between listening to that and going to Spotify or Apple Music to do the same. How do you make it more radio? You insert some form of connection and a relationship in between it. Even if it is just every 5 songs, it's you checking in saying, I hope you're enjoying the music. Next up, I'm playing this, and if you'd like more like this, visit our website, download our app, send us an email. You're just reminding people that there is a person that's actually put some thought into this, regardless of whether they're live or not. They don't necessarily know. They could think you are live, and it just makes it a much more impressive sort of engaging listen. There's actually someone who has put some thought into it. It's not just an algorithm. So yeah, it helps maintain the real spirit of radio without you having to worry about going live all the time. That's why I really like it. And I think some negative stigma around it is very, very unnecessary. So that's voice tracking. Use it as much as you like. It's a really, really great tool. And you know, that's just a couple of different ways of building playlists, but it basically boils down to whatever you put on the right-hand side of the screen is your show. So I'm quite happy with this. I'm going to click save, and I'm going to get it scheduled. And following suit, scheduling is also very simple. All you do is you click the time you want it to start, and you drag it to the time you want it to finish. So if I was to do a show today, let's say 12 p.m. till 2 p.m., I would click 12, and I would drag it down to 2, like so. Now, what this has done is this has created an event. It's kind of like you're booking something on a calendar, and you just need to clarify some of the details. So first of all, yeah, it starts at 12, it runs for 2 hours, and it therefore finishes at 2. Great, that's exactly what I wanted. At the moment, I'm just scheduling it for today, for Friday, but you can select multiple days of the week here, and it will then replicate that time, that booking, across all of those specified days. So not only am I having it 12 till 2 today, but maybe 12 till 2 tomorrow and Sunday, or thinking forward, maybe I want it every day. Select as many days as you want, and this will then just replicate this as schedule for you. Likewise, I might want this to repeat. So not only do I want it 12 till 2 every day, but every week. You would click in every week, or every 2 weeks, once a month. You know, the options are there. And then you just need to put in a random date within the next 2 years, and it will schedule it up until that point. So here I'm just going to go to, yeah, why not? It's random enough. The 16th of April, why not? Schedule it up until that point, every day, every week. Now, the final thing you do is here. What kind of event, what sort of show is this actually going to be? So is it a playlist, first of all? Is it that, that playlist you just made? If so, click playlist. And from this drop-down menu here at the top, you just want to select what playlist that's going to be. So specifically, I want Phil's Christmas show, that famous Christmas show that doesn't have any Christmas music in it. People will be disappointed or relieved. So here you've got Phil's Christmas show playlist is going to play 12 till 2 every day of the week, every week until the middle of April. And if you're happy with all those decisions you've made, you click create, give it a second or two. There we go. That's all been scheduled for you. So you can see 12 till 2, the playlist, specifically Phil's Christmas show, is going to play 12 till 2 every day for the next 5 months or whatnot. And as I say, because this platform is all entirely cloud-based, as long as you turned your station on air, which mine obviously evidently is here, as long as you did that, this playlist will automatically fade in at 12 and it will automatically fade out at 2 because you've told it to do that. Your computer could be turned off. You could have no access to power or no internet. That doesn't matter. It's being powered by our server. So this will fade in at 12 and it will fade out at 2, just like that. So that's how easy it can be to do something that is completely automated. You just want to upload some music or content, build a playlist, and decide what time you want it to play. And as long as your station is turned on air, it'll do the rest. Now, if you want to do a live show, which you can do, obviously I mentioned, you can do your automated shows, your voice track shows, back-to-back music, or completely live. And the way you do that is, again, decide the times and the days and the weeks you want it on air, but instead you select live DJ, like here. And from here, this is where you need to choose specifically who that host is going to be, because you can give people complete remote access to your station. Because, as I say, this platform is entirely cloud-based. So I am based in Manchester. I could host a live show on your station, as could someone on the complete opposite end of the world, someone down the road. All you need to do is just give them access, and as long as they have access to the internet, they can broadcast live and access your station from anywhere in the world. So here I'm going to click Live DJ, and specifically it's going to be me that's going to do the show here. I have accepted an invitation to be a user, and I can now be selected to be a user. So click Fill. So I have selected myself to be the host here, which means I am the only one who has the ability to go live. Even though people have remote access to the station, if they are not expected to go live, they can't. So there's no risk of people, for lack of a better word, hijacking the station, taking over it when they shouldn't. If I want to record this show, which can be a great way to repurpose content or make it available on demand, make the most of audiences that are really only residing within podcast platforms, let's record the show as well, like so. And then if you're happy with all those decisions, you click Update Event or Create Event, whichever option is there. I'm personally updating this event. It might just say Create for you. And now what you'll see is it looks slightly different. It now says 12 till 2, live DJ, specifically me, Phil. If anyone else tries to log in, they can't. Now, I've been harping on quite a bit about the fact that it's cloud-based, that your power and your internet connection doesn't really matter. It's being powered by us. And for the most part, yes, that is absolutely correct. However, when you are live, when you are establishing a live connection with your equipment and you want people to hear what you are saying right here, right now, that does rely on your internet connection and your power. The software needs to know where your live audio is coming from. However, if any of that is lost, if there's any disconnections, whether that is due to power cuts midway during your show, or maybe you were unable to connect at all, maybe you had some technical issues before your show started, or you were late starting the show, or a DJ was late starting the show and you weren't aware, there is always going to be a backup playlist. In fact, it won't let you schedule a live show without a backup playlist. And this, in this example, is Phil's Christmas show. Basically, whatever playlist is selected here, when you've chosen the live DJ option, will be your backup players. So each DJ could have their own, perhaps. That's a way to think about it. And you can see here, confirmation, recording has been enabled. So I know when this show finishes, I'll have an MP3 file to show for it. The other option there is, just very, very briefly, live relay. That is the ability to schedule a stream from another online radio station simultaneously on yours. So let's just say, as an example, a close friend of mine was also doing a Christmas radio show, but maybe he had a great host that I wasn't able to get, or is doing a big event, and I would like to broadcast my friend's radio station, or show specifically, on my station as well. The way I do that is through live relays. Basically, you will choose an online link that you've submitted to Radio.co that you are allowed to use, always seek permission. And basically, whatever is playing on that station at that time is also simultaneously broadcasting on yours. So let's just say I've got, Howard Stern. Maybe Howard Stern, we're good, close friends. He's like, hey, Phil, yeah, you can, that's a terrible impression. I'm going to stop right now. Let's just say, he's like, yeah, you can broadcast my show. Why not? So what I'm doing is I've got a link to his show. I'm now going to schedule it, like so. And what this will mean is from 12 till 2, whatever is currently playing on this relay on Howard Stern's show is simultaneously broadcasting on mine. So whatever show he has 12 till 2 just so happens to be broadcasting on my station as well. However, we have an added bonus. If Howard Stern ever has any technical difficulties, or again, he's late starting the show, we still have a backup playlist. So his audience may completely drop out for any reason due to his faults, whereas ours won't. If that show drops, the backup playlist will kick in and recover. And that's really everything to do with programming. I know there's a lot I've covered there over 25 minutes or so, but it is really just coming down to clicking and dragging, deciding if it's a playlist. If it's going to be a playlist, just source your MP3 files. There are different ways you can get them from. I can share some information in a moment. Build your playlists, decide when it's going to play. And you could schedule the same playlist to play every single day for the next 2 years. And once today's show finishes, you can update the playlist, and as long as you click save, tomorrow is still ready to go, and it's now going to play the updated version of it. So there's so many different ways to really speed up the process of programming. And if it's going to be a live show or a live relay, all you need to do is just decide who's going to be hosting the show, or what stream is going to be hosting the show, and what time it's going to do. And as long as that goes ahead, as long as your DJs log in when they're supposed to, and they establish connections, that's it. That show will be broadcast. So, as I say, that's everything to do with programming. If you want a recap of any of this, don't worry, you can, of course, rewatch this video at any time you like. Or on our website, if you scroll all the way down to the bottom of the page, we have a link to what we call our Radio.co University. And that has breakdown videos of every little aspect of our platform. So there's a specific video about uploading media, building shows, relays even. So head there for specific breakdowns of those. But the last thing I wanted to cover here is probably the most important. How do people listen to this radio station? So, of course, it is an internet radio station. It can only be accessed via means to the internet. So the most basic way people can listen is through this. It's called a listen link, a streaming URL. Think of it like your own personal frequency on a traditional FM radio station. This link is specifically for your station, and as long as it's turned on air, anyone who clicks on that, it just opens up a browser tab on their computer or their smartphone, and it streams your station. It's not the most attractive way of people listening. This link specifically cannot be customized, and when people click on it, when you do share it on social media or in an email perhaps, when they do click on it, it just opens up a black browser tab, so there's nothing to look at other than a little play button. But despite that, it's still a very, very easy way of people listening. We also have directories, so you can submit your listen link to a number of directories. They are just places on the internet that people go to specifically to listen to internet radio. If you have your own website, whether that's now or you want to create one in the future, which can be a very beneficial thing to do, you can have a web player. And this is where you're directing people to your personal website with your personal branded domain name. And on your website, they see the ability to listen to your radio station, complete with artwork, whether that is the artwork for the track that's playing, artwork for your station, it's the logo for your station perhaps, a bit of track and show information here, and all you do is you just press play and it starts streaming your station. There's no coding needed. All you do is when you create this, when you click on the add player, it asks you, what shape and size do you want it, and you just copy and paste the code that's generated for you, paste it onto your website, and hey presto, it's on your website for people to listen to. Again, as long as your station is on air, it will work. And then expanding on that, we can also increase the efficiency of people listening, the accessibility of it through a series of add-ons. So you can have your very own Alexa smart speaker command. So if I was hosting, Phil's Christmas Radio, I can say, Alexa, play Phil's Christmas Radio, and it will. It's just a case of, this is an official command. You decide the pronunciation, the description of it, what it's called, and yeah, that's available on the stores. Likewise, we can build you a mobile app. This is a fully branded mobile app specifically for your station. It has no Radio.co branding on it. No other station is on there. It's purely yours for both Android and iOS. And this really, really increases the efficiency of people listening. It makes it arguably a lot more accessible for the majority amount of people who could be listening. And regardless of how then people do listen, it all comes back to your statistics. So from here, you'll be able to see how many people have been listening, where are they based in the world, what's the most popular countries that are available, because of course it's global, it's internet. So where are people based, what web browsers are people using, what devices are the most popular, what's the average length of time people are listening, even who's listening right now. So I click on real time and I can see a bit of information about who's listening right now here. So down to what devices are being used and when they actually connected. Probably the most sort of helpful information here is in the historical information here. There will be the option for you to see roughly on average what's the most popular time of day for people listening. So perfect if you want to have ads playing specifically during those times. That's giving you an indication of when people are finding your station the most, and it could be that people in a completely different time zone are finding your station more than your intended one, so why not then appeal your station to there. There is more I could cover here on the platform, but I'm going to leave that for you to discover. There are ways that you can do your settings, so you can change the sound quality of your station, improve it. There are ways you can set advanced rules to ensure that shuffling of tracks is more fair. To invite users to your account, you just come to the user section and decide what roles you want them to have. And probably one of the most important things here is reports. I'm going to explain that in a bit more detail based on a question that's been asked. But the report section is here for all of your admin and licensing needs. But yeah, essentially there we go. I know it's, again, I've taught at quite length about the actual software, and there may be a lot to get your head around, but it's honestly a very, very intuitive, user-friendly platform. To at least get started with your radio station, it really doesn't take that lot. You can just upload an MP3 file, turn your station on air, and thanks to that default playlist, you then instantly have a 24-hour radio stream, which you can have something playing whilst you build out your playlist a bit more, get more DJs involved. People sort of criticize when I say things like, you can get started in literally minutes, and you can get started. Fair enough, you might not have a radio station worthy of people listening to in minutes, and you may want to get licensing in place or build your website or build your apps. Those things do take time. But if you want to at least get the ball rolling, it is just a case of uploading some media tracks, building a playlist, turn your station on air, and you at least have something rolling to then begin expanding and gradually getting your audience listening to your dream radio station.
Well, there we have it. Now you understand the essentials of running and programming your very own internet radio station. Not as daunting as it first sounded, right? Now, all that's left to do is to sign up for your free 7-day trial from our website on the pricing page, and you can get up and running in mere minutes. And if you have any questions in the meantime, or you just prefer to have a quick chat before taking that leap, you can send me an email via studio@radio.co, and I'll help as swiftly as I possibly can. And for more tutorials, webinars, news, and reviews, subscribe to our Radio.co YouTube channel, or just find us on your favourite social media platforms. And until next time, take care and happy broadcasting.